Hello, everyone. Are you able to hear me this morning? Take a look at the chat here to see if anybody is able to hear me. Awesome. Sorry about that this morning, guys. My sound system was acting up a little weird this morning with everything just kind of playing all at once. So I was doing a crazy echo, so I apologize for that. But I am so excited you guys are all here. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the stream. If you're new to my channel, hello, I am Katesy, and if you are returning, welcome back, guys. Today we're going to jump into Aloft. I've had a lot of people reach out to me asking some questions about a particular service or a particular feature within Aloft, and I figured I'd showcase that a little bit today and show you guys some of the tips and tricks that I know, and some of the things that I've learned kind of along the way. Now, by any means, I am not a pro when it comes to this feature in the game, and these are just things that I know about it to kind of help me. It definitely is enough knowledge to make me dangerous, but not enough to really be considered among the pros who are creating such incredible things within this game. But I did want to share some tips and tricks that I knew because of the fact that so many people have been like, oh, this is just very overwhelming. I don't understand how to do this. And so I had done a little bit of research. I had done a little bit of practice with it. I am currently in the process of creating an island that I'm going to do a collaboration project with another streamer. And so I figured I would share the knowledge that I do have. So let's go ahead and jump in, guys. All right, so the feature in which I'm talking about is the island creator mode. So there's several different modes within this game. The first one being is the regular adventure game. You go through, you gather materials to be able to build, you fight off enemies, etc., etc. The second feature you can do is modifying that ability to be either a creation mode and or a non-confrontational mode. And so the creation mode means that you have all the resources available to you. You can focus on building and creating and doing everything like that in the game. And then the other portion of that is you can go through and just focus on building and establishing ecosystems without having to worry about combating the fungus and things of that nature. And then there is island creator. So this is the best way to kind of think about the island creator side of it is kind of like a developer program, which is kind of what stumbled me in the beginning because it's like I'm not familiar with developer programs. I am not comfortable with them because, I've never been exposed to them before. But that's what the island creator mode is established or has been designed for, because it allows people to kind of come in and really get into that creative side of Aloft. And so we're going to go in and I'm just going to kind of show some tips and tricks on what I have done in the past and some things and some knowledge that I have learned as I've gone through this as well. So we're going to first go in. When you go in, now all these ones that you're seeing here, these are actually islands that other people have created. If you go into the Steam deck of, or if you go into Steam, there's an area that is called like a workshop for Aloft, and you can actually go in and subscribe to these islands, and they will pretty much download to the game for you to be able to use and explore. These people have created such amazing and incredible islands, but we're going to do one completely from scratch. The one that is my project is the Treehouse Village. That's one that I'm working on for my collaboration that's coming up, but we're going to just go ahead and create a brand new one because I want to show what it is like going from kind of like start to finish. We may not finish the island completely, but at least we can kind of get in there and showcase, what all the tools are, what you need to do, and all the other stuff that I am aware of with this. Hello, Sherry Cola. Thank you so much for joining. I'm so excited you're here. How are you today? Okay, so we're gonna create a new one. So when you jump in here, this is pretty much what it looks like. It looks like a blank slate. The little icon here is like a person model. Now, to me, I feel like the person model doesn't really truly reflect the size of your character in the game itself. I feel like it's a little bit smaller than what your actual character is going to be, but it kind of gives you a base idea on how things are going to be. So I am doing very well, Sherry Cola. Thank you so much for asking. And again, thank you so much for joining this morning. I'm excited that you're here. So, I can't remember. You're in a loft, right? I'm so blanking this morning. I'm still trying to kind of wake up and get going. Yeah, you're in a loft. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Ha 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 ha. It's been a morning so far. So, anyway, that's right. You were joining us yesterday and holding down the home base for us. That's right. I forgot about that. You get so consumed in the world and what you have going on, and it's just like when you're doing the collaboration stuff, like you just kind of get into your own little zone and rhythm. Like it's so funny. Shelly and I will just go out and we'll just go boom, hardcore, we got this, we're exploring everything, we're running through the islands trying to find everything and then leading everybody to where they're at, and it's like, oh hey, it's over here, oh hey, it's over here. And it's like, it's just a completely different experience for each person. But yeah, no, Sherry Coley, awesome that you are joining us in that collab stream for Aloft. It's super fun and it's awesome to have you there as well. So anyway, we're I don't know how much of the intro you have learned or were a part of, but we're basically getting into another section of Aloft called the creator mode. And I'm just going to share some tips and tricks that I know about this portion of the game, because I've had a lot of people come back and be like, oh my gosh, all the things that we are seeing in the Discord are incredible, but I just don't know how to even use that program. And it is a little overwhelming. The best thing to think about is it's a developer program. First and foremost, so you basically are starting from the baselines. If we were going to kind of rate developer programs and things like that, if you've ever played The Sims, that would be a very basic developer program when it comes to building the houses and things like that, specifically like Sims 4, because you have all these tools you can modify, you can do these adjustments accordingly, but they're still restricted. They're still very, very limited to what you can and can't do. Whereas like this, I would say, is probably more middle range. You have a lot more flexibility. You have a lot more that you can do with the program. And then there's like way advanced developer programs that are used to like create the games and create the characters and things of that nature. So like I said, gonna kind of show some information that I know about it. So when you get in here, this is kind of the first thing you see. You have over here to your left just kind of like a menu option, and then over here is gonna be very, very useful as you start layering things. So your object hierarchy is basically your navigation for your island. So as you build your island, you're gonna see items that pop up on here that are gonna showcase where they're located and what base they are sticking to. So, and I'll get more into that here in a minute. But right over here, island, we're gonna name the island. I'm just gonna do demo for now. If I decide to rename it later, author, you can choose to put your name in there if you want to. You don't necessarily need to, especially if you're just creating the island for your own personal use. Now, if you were going to upload it, I definitely recommend that you have an author name in there, just so that way people know who created this island. Biome, you can choose between biome 1, 2, and 3. These are reflecting the biomes that you are exposed to within the actual game itself. So you have the Emerald Isles, which are going to be more of your luscious forest islands. There's more of a desert one, and then there's more of a clay surface type biome as well. So I'm just going to keep it with biome 1. I personally haven't seen any difference in between the two of them, but it could mean the difference on if you're having certain pop-ups. So like there's a feature in here that you can do that allows random pop-ups of things, so like random animals or random plants or flowers and things like that. If you input that on there, it might impact that. I think this is just more if you ever decide to register your island and upload it for people to use, it helps identify if people are searching for specific biomes to have it registered for that. I think that's mostly what it's for. And then tags, you can tag on here if you have like a knowledge stone, if you need to have trees, things that are going to, again, help identify this island when it comes to the searching mechanics and what it's able to do for the players. So again, most of this I feel is going to be more for uploading information. So now we're getting to the fun part. We've inputted the information that we need to input. You don't necessarily need to do this right off the bat. I just like to because then I don't have to think about it later. And then I always come back for tags if I really, really want to. I haven't yet, but we'll see. So the first thing that I'm going to kind of show you, so you have your menu, your general settings right here, which is going to be your tags and things of that nature. Then you have your platform. So this is where you're going to have your island foundations and bases. So if we were going to click on this brush, so there's the selection tool and then there's the brush. You do have to flip back and forth between the two of them if you want to move things around, select and things like that. So just keep that in mind. That is one feature that you will have to continue to toggle back and forth on if you are wanting to modify what you're doing. So the brush is going to allow you to find these folders, which is based upon what biome you would like to work within. Now, you can intermix biomes. I've seen people do that before. There's no right or wrong way to do it. So it's really up to you which biome you want to work with. The next tab over is going to be your foliage. So this is, again, you have the 3 selections here. The only thing that's different is that you now have an eraser, so you can erase things versus on the island tab or the platforms tab, you don't have that eraser because removing those is a little bit different. But again, you have the selection, you have the brush, and all of the things that are in here within these folders. And then the last one is entity. So this is going to be more of your kind of like specialty things. So if you wanted to put in water, if you want to put in rocks, if you want to put in like the wrecked ships, things of that nature, that's going to be found within here. Now, if we go over to the other side, we have the undo and redo buttons. Pretty self-explanatory. And then we have something that I actually use quite a bit. It's the copy and paste. So that is what it's going to do is whatever you have selected. So if it's an island, if it's a tree, whatever, it's going to copy and paste that again for you and duplicate it on top of what you've already got. So just remember that if you copy and paste something, it will paste it exactly over the existing one that you have, and you will have to move it around in order to show that it actually implemented. You can choose to toggle corruption visibility or not. I've never really used this, but then again, I haven't built a corruption island yet, so I don't know if I ever will, mostly because of the fact that it's annoying to remove them, but that's just me. Hello, Minx. Welcome in, welcome in. I'm so excited you're here. Thanks for joining us today. We're just going through the island creator toggle within Aloft. I'm sharing some tips and tricks that I know about it, and just because I've had so many people say that it just seems overwhelming and there's just a lot to go through, so I just figured I'd share what I know about it. Personally, I think it's actually a lot of fun once you get the hang of it, but there are some features in it that I wish were a little bit better, but I think for what we're able to do, it's actually a pretty fun tool, especially if you love building and creating and things of that nature. Jenny, oh my goodness, hello, welcome in. I'm so excited you are here. Oh my goodness, I feel like it's been so long since I've talked to you, hon. How are you? Oh my goodness, guys, I'm so excited you guys are all here. This is so much fun. I love seeing you guys. All right, so moving across the top, we have, I believe this is the download button, but I'm not quite sure at this point because it's not allowing me to hover over it. Then we have the save current work, and then upload. Sorry, upload is where you're going to upload it into I think the workshop, and then you have your quit. So we're gonna there's other features in here, there's other things in here. I'm just gonna kind of explain them as they go. If you have any questions, guys, feel free to pop it in the chat, and I will try to answer it as best as I can. Again, I am not a pro at this in any way, shape, or form. I'm just helping provide some tips and tricks that I do know about it, just because I've had so many people be like, oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming, and I wanted to learn how to do it. I wanted to learn how to do the custom islands, and so I did a bunch of searching for these videos on how to use this feature, how to use this tool, and now that I have the knowledge that I do have, I think it's super fun. Does it get frustrating? Absolutely, guys, absolutely, but it's super fun at the same time. So last thing before we really get started is this bottom feature. I kind of tend to ignore this because it's rating your island based upon weight, complexity, nodes, crops, animals, etc. And if you decide to build an island that doesn't have these things, it's going to affect that score. Now, what that score really does, I'm not quite sure. I'd have to do a little bit more research on that, but I think it's just more along the lines, if you want a good quality, authentic island to input into Aloft, these would be what you would need to look at for scoring purposes. The higher the score, obviously, the more it's going to integrate well into the game. Well, not to say integrate, okay. More along the lines of it fitting well within the ecosystem or well within the game itself versus like doing things that are not in that sense. So I want to play all these games on my computer, and I only have a Switch. I understand, Jenny. I get that. Until my husband and I built our own computers, that's kind of where I was at. That's where I started my channel with, was the Switch. I still have my Nintendo Switch right now, just kind of waiting to get a Switch that will allow me to toggle back and forth between using PC games and using my Nintendo Switch. Otherwise, I'd have to pull some cords, switch some things around, and right now my PC is set up for gaming as well as my work setup whenever I work from home. So I don't want to mess with that as much as I possibly can. I'd just like to be able to press a button and do that. Eventually I'll go back to Switch games, but right now it's just kind of on pause until we get that going, because I don't really want to mess with the cords, because with my luck, I'll pull a cord, put another one back in, and it's supposed to work, but then it doesn't work. So understand you have a laptop that is holding on, which grateful. Yes. So I can watch you and still enjoy the game. Aww. Well, I appreciate you being here, Jenny. It means a lot to me. And don't forget to give your brother a hard time for me. So all right, so we're going to start building. Now that I've given this basic information about all these different pieces, we're going to actually start getting into actually building an island. So first and foremost, we need an island to work on. So we're going to come into here. We're going to click on platforms. Again, the selector tool, the brush. We're going to go into brush. If you open up these folders, it gives so many options as far as various islands that you can work with, various landscapes you can work with. I mean, there's so much you can do on here. Hi, Teddy. How's it going? Welcome in, Teddy. We are so happy you are here. So you have all these options in here. If we go down. Now, I personally like to minimize these and then open these up because I feel like they get really, really long. So you have the Fallen Heights, which are going to be like this type of biome. Now, if I wanted to select this and remove this, the nice thing. So I'm in brush, select, click on it, the island's selected. The nice thing about this, though, is that especially if you are on keyboard, which I kind of would recommend building this on keyboard. I haven't had any practice with the controller, but I feel like with it being a developer program, it might be challenging to work on this when it's a controller. So the nice thing was, like with the keyboards, you have the different switches, you have the different things that you can work with. So That would be my recommendation with that. But anyway, I have it selected. I can just simply select delete and not have to worry about it. So that's a nice thing. Teddy, you be nice. Be nice. Behave yourself over there. So anyway, we're back in here. We have the Fallen Heights, the Red Cliffs, which is this biome, which is more of your deserty biome. Yeah, that's right. The three biomes are the lush green foresty type, and then the difference between that one and I feel like the Fallen Heights is like the Fallen Heights is more of a fall woodland type biome. So it's a lot more of your fall colors and things of that nature. And then you have your third biome, which is the Red Cliffs, and that's going to be more of your clay desert type thing. Now, the other cool thing is there is a fourth biome you can work in, and if you've gotten far enough in the game, or if you've seen spoilers or anything like that, if you haven't seen the spoilers and you don't want them, you might want to plug your ears for the next few minutes, but there is an island feature called the Leviathan. Now, this is a part in the game that is towards the end that you are able to use, and the Leviathan is the creature that you see in the beginning that is flying over the entry or the starting island. So that's the cool thing there, and of course they're pretty nice size islands. I typically don't use those too much because I don't really know how different they are in comparison to the other ones, so I just kind of stick with the Emerald Islands. But anyway, we're just going to kind of play around, showcase this. So we're going to start with just kind of a large flat. So you see on here we have, so right now what I'm doing is I'm clicking on my left, right, yep, sorry. If there's one thing that I sometimes challenge with is my left and right, but ask me which way is north, and I can point that out anyway, any time of day. So anyway, so I'm clicking on my right, and I'm just dragging my mouse around to get different viewpoints. If I wanted to circle around my island, what I would have to do is click the right button, and then on the keyboard, click A, and as I'm going, I'm moving my mouse so that way I'm continuously looking at the island. If I wanted to zoom in, I click on, again, hold the right trigger. W allows me to zoom in, E allows me to zoom out, D allows me to rotate the opposite direction. So those are just some things that I had to learn and try to figure out because of the fact that I was trying to build these islands and I was like, I can't rotate around them to see what this looks like. Now you can just kind of go back and forth like this. You can move around like this. You can even fly underneath your island and take a look at what it looks like underneath. So I mean, lots of things you can do. So we're gonna actually, this is the one part that kind of that I wish was a little bit better way of doing it, but I understand why it's built this way. Just from my understanding of developer programs, for me it's a little but I mean, I'm sure other developers would be like, oh, this is actually how these programs work, kind of thing. I also have a toggle here that allows me to zoom in and out real quick. So that's another feature that I use quite a bit versus the W and the S. So one of the things that I'm going to showcase is how to build a cave, because that's probably one of the most challenging things to do. You can choose to build a cave in one of two ways. You can start with the cave and then build everything around it, or you can have your island like this and then build on top of it. Hi, Co-Rich. Welcome in, welcome in. Thanks for stopping by. We're just kind of going through the island creator here. Again, I am not a pro at this at all. This is just some helpful tips and tricks because I've had so many people be like, I don't know how to do this. This is so confusing to me. And I've done I've looked at so many videos and have watched so many people create these things, and so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna show people how to do this and showcase how I created my own island. So we're actually going to start from the cave itself, but before we do that, I am gonna show you another feature. So again, switching from the brush, which showcases all of these, switching over to the selection tool, clicking on this. Now you'll notice we have this nice little circle thing right here. This allows me, if I click and hold on one of these accesses, it allows me to turn. Now, keep in mind, it will turn the opposite in which you are dragging your mouse. At least it does for me. I don't know if there's a setting in there that you could change it to be different, but I am currently clicking on this horizontal line right here and having it rotate on a horizontal axis. Another fun thing you can do is these other lines over here. You can, sometimes they are very finicky, so just keep that in mind. Okay, we're gonna try this. It might be the person that's in the way. Oh, come on. Like I said, they can be very, very finicky, and you have to like find the right point. Sometimes if there's something that interferes it doesn't always want to work right. But there are times that you can actually, hang on. Let me remember this. Hang on. Okay, yep. That makes sense. Okay. It does work. It just doesn't work on islands. So let me switch over and showcase this. This is all new to me. I haven't played Aloft like Ginger and the others. Oh, that's awesome that you're checking it out. Or that you're seeing this for the first time. I think it's a super fun game. I like the creative part of it, and I like the little bit of survival / defend yourself type games. I used to be 100% a cozy gamer. Now I'm switching over to more of the survival mode where there's building and crafting, but yet at the same time you have to go gather resources. You have to actually survive the environment that you're in. So highly recommend it if this is your thing. If it's not, you know, that's okay too, but it's definitely a fun game. It's definitely different, and you know, there's flying. I mean, can you really beat flying? There's all other games have gliding, this has flying. So so let me showcase this feature real quick to you guys. We're gonna actually go into Entity, and I'm just gonna go to Emerald Isles because I feel like this is gonna be the best option for this. So we're gonna click on a tree. I'm gonna do an elder tree. So you click on it, you can figure out where you want to select it. Once you have it figured out where you want it to be, you click. It's now inputted onto the island. So another thing to remember is it will always, until you toggle off of this particular tab, which is the brush tab, it'll always, whatever you have selected in here will always kind of show up on your mouse. So we're going to switch over to the select, and I'm going to actually select the tree itself. So this is where I was talking about this axis, being able to turn things. So remember, we're able to turn things from side to side. You can also turn things by rotating it this way or rotating it this way. And like I said, I forgot that doesn't work on islands, but it works on pretty much all the things that you can apply to the islands. So your trees, things of that nature. Another thing that I do want to show you, and so how do you know if you're on that? There are these little tabs up here. So we have the rotate, which is what we're currently on right now. This next one is the move. So there's two features with the move. There's this little box thing that allows you to move it around the island itself. And then there's this little arrow thing that I have found super, super helpful, especially because for me, I am very particular on how things work and how they apply and how they look on an island. So for me, if I wanted to see the roots of this tree, which the roots are awesome for these trees, I can actually take this, drag it up, and you can lift that up to showcase the roots. Now, this would be really cool if you had like a little rock underneath there that the tree is like has grown on top of, or if you wanted to create like a water area or something like that, that would be a really cool feature for this. The next thing that I want to showcase is the scale. Now, the reason why I'm showcasing these on an item versus the actual island is because the islands don't have these, a lot of these features don't apply to them. So the full functionality of the rotate doesn't apply to the island platforms. The scale feature does not apply to the platforms. If you want to make a platform bigger, you have to apply it around. So you'd have to create multiple platforms around it and then apply this, and then kind of finagle them together. So if you wanted to resize this, again, you have to have the item selected. We're going to do scale, and you see there's this little box. You're going to click on it. Again, I'm using mouse and keyboard, so I do not know what the controller would be like, but I'm going to right click, and I'm going to drag it to, to the right. Or no, left click it, drag it to the right if I want it to go bigger. If I want it to go smaller, I'm going to drag it to the left. So that is how the scale function works. Again, it's only for things that can be applied to the platforms and not the platforms themselves. And the platforms, like I said, are the actual island pieces. So yeah, this is actually a really cool feature. Once you figure it out and figure out how this whole process works, it's actually really, really cool. And it's something that I have not seen in a lot of games. We have building abilities or crafting abilities, but to be able to take something and create something from scratch, I've not seen that in a lot of games. And that's why I really wanted to learn how to use it, because it's like, this is new, this is cool. And if you are somebody that is interested in development work, or you're looking into that type of career or that passion or anything like that, this is a great start to understanding the systems. It's not going to be the full-on system that most developers would have or like work with, but it kind of gives you an open eye to what it might be like. It does sound interesting. Kind of reminds me of being able to create islands in Stranded Deep. Oh, you can create islands in that game? I'll admit I'm not familiar with Stranded Deep. Can you tell me more about it? You've piqued my interest a little bit. The last thing is the construction snap mode. I don't use this very much, but you can use this to kind of snap pieces together, similar to the build menu in the game. So if you wanted to, actually the best way that the best example of this is if you wanted to create ruins. So if you're familiar with the game Aloft, you travel around to these various islands, you travel to different locations, and there are sometimes ruins that you stumble upon from civilizations that no longer exist, and you can input those ruins into this creator mode. And I feel like that snapping mode would be most beneficial if you were creating those ruins in that particular way. I typically don't use it very often because I like the ability to freely move things around and have them just kind of be where I place them to be versus snapping them onto something. So it is a great tool. I just don't use it very often. Also, another thing that I wanted to point out is off to the side here, you notice the hierarchy has started to build. We have our platform, which is the large flat, which is this piece right here. And then we have the Great Elder Tree. So this is identifying that the Great Elder Tree is connected to the large flat. Now, if we were going to have multiple platforms on here, as you input different like trees or things like that, they're going to associate to certain platforms based upon, I believe, the majority of that item being associated with that platform. So basically, if I had two platforms here and 51% of this tree was on one platform and 49 was on another one, it's going to go to the one that the majority of the tree is associated with. But yeah, this is also great too, especially as you start layering. You can actually like toggle between the items that are on there, so that way you can select. So if you needed to move something around or adjust something, you're able to do that without having to, you know, try to find the thing. And plus, the nice thing with this as well is it doesn't matter if you're in the platforms tab, the foliage tab, or the entity tab. You can select anything from the hierarchy. Now, if you were in the entity tab, the only things that you can select from that side of things is anything that you pull from the entity tab itself. So bear in mind with that. Luna, welcome in. Hello, hello. I'm so excited you are here. It's a crafting and survival game where you jet crash into the ocean and you become stranded on an island. 3 bosses to fight, and then the ending was pretty. Oh, that sounds actually kind of interesting. I might have to look into that. Are the bosses hard? That's my biggest thing. Are the bosses hard? I mean, I can do some fighting, but I am not the best when it comes to combat fighting. Oh, hey, Teddy. But yeah, guys, I'm glad you guys are enjoying this so far, and I hope you're able to take what I'm showcasing back. And if you decide to try this, you know, I wish you guys great success with this. So anyway, so I'm gonna select this and I'm actually going to delete it. I'm just clicking the delete tab. I mentioned caves. So caves are very challenging in this game because you pretty much have to build around it. Like I said, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can create the platform first and then put the cave on top of it and build around it that way, or you can just put the cave mouth on it and build around that. When I do building, I do kind of ignore this guy. Yes, he kind of is supposed to represent the size of your person in comparison to the island, but when I build, I just kind of ignore him. And then if I needed to check sizes, I will pull in the island into my actual game, check my actual sizing with my actual character, and then if I feel like I need to adjust anything, I will despawn it and work on it back in this island creator. Has Teddy been causing trouble? Teddy has been surprisingly calm. I'm not sure if I should be worried or not. Teddy, blink once or twice if you are not okay. He's been okay so far. I mean, it is Teddy. He does cause trouble wherever he's at. All right, so we're going to jump back over here. I don't want that. That's not what we're doing. So let's see. I don't know why it's having me select that. Maybe because I still have that selected. Okay, so we're going to get rid of that. So I'm actually going to build the cave from the ground up, just so that way you guys can see how it functions and how it works. So when you come into the Emerald Islands, I can't remember, does Fallen Heights have... They have riverbed, and they have some cave items in here. I think majority of your cave things will be... Yeah, majority of your cave stuff will be under the Emerald Islands. Now you can choose these PIO. I'm not really quite familiar with what that's supposed to stand for. You can choose these as well. They're just kind of different options as well within this folder. But typically what I recommend doing is starting off with the cave room. So I'm going to select that. You notice it creates that. Now if we were going to go fly through this, it looks like it's incomplete, but that's just because of the fact that it's showcasing what it looks like on the inside. But if we were to kind of walk in here, there's all your walls. So it is enclosed. It's just for the purpose of building and constructing, it has whatever side you're facing, it has that side open for you to see. So we're gonna go out. See, as you can see, we lost that wall. Trying to get myself in a good position again. Okay, so now that we have that, that's going to be our base line for any type of cave. I'm actually going to reposition again. So remember, when you're doing your caves, unless you want it to be closed off, or like if you wanted to create tunnels, you can definitely do that. So let me grab this real quick if you want. Wrong thing. There we go. You can use this. You can create the turns, things of that nature. Just for the sake of building, I'm going to keep this pretty simple. Hello, Shelly. Welcome in. Hello. I'm so excited you are here. Hello, Mod Sis Shelly. Oh my goodness. Welcome in. Yeah, Shelly, I hope you get some good tips from this, or because I know you mentioned not really understanding this program or having some challenges with it. So I almost missed it. Yep. Well, I mean, we'll be here for a little bit. I don't know how long we'll be doing this kind of tutorial versus actually playing the game. Depends on how long it takes. And again, guys, if you have questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. I would be happy to ask them, or answer them, not ask them. I mean, I'll read them out loud. I don't know if that's me asking them though. But anyway, I'm happy to answer what questions I can. Again, full disclaimer, I am not a pro when it comes to this. These are just things that I've learned along the way as playing around with this program. So we have our base of the cave right here. So the next thing to do is just kind of build around it. So what I'm going to do is, I usually like to start from the ceiling and work my way down. So we're going to find, where did that large flat? So right now the large flat is on the bottom. I actually want to move it to the top. So I am going to select this and I'm going to do the move tool and move this up so it is actually above. Now we have to move our viewpoint, but now you see it is above the cave. Now again, how you approach this is really up to you, but you notice now we have an official ceiling for this particular island. But I also want to have a floor side of it too. So I'm going to use another feature. I have the large flat selected and I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste this. So you notice it pasted right over top of the existing one that we have. So in order for me to move this, all I have to do is grab this arrow and move it down. And now you have kind of like your foundation of the cave and you have the surface of your cave. Now the next thing to do is just kind of enclose around it and make sure that all your walls are enclosed. One disadvantage of working with big builds is the needing to always readjust your camera angle. And that's probably one of the things that is a little bit of a headache with this, is just the continuously readjusting of the angles and stuff. So Elena, welcome in, welcome in. So excited you are here. Hello, mouse. Riffraff. Really? You're starting off with that already? And I'm giving helpful tips and tricks today. I'm being very helpful. And you're starting off with that. I see how it is. I'm doing well, Elena. Thank you so much for asking. For those that are just kind of joining us, I'm working in Aloft. I'm doing the island creator mode. So this is another feature of the game itself that allows you to kind of design and customize your own islands. Right now, we're kind of showcasing what it would be like to create a cave. So right here we've got the top piece, we've got the bottom piece. Typically for the top piece, I always recommend having something that's flat or as flat as possible. Now, another thing that we could do, let me select this, I'm going to delete, is if we go to Fallen Islands, another good one for this. You could always do these other flat pieces. So we've got this small hill that has a pretty flat base to it. So you notice the bottom of it, it's pretty flat. So you could do that as well. But yeah, I recommend the top pieces being as flat as you can possibly make them, or have them be the flatter pieces. There's a bunch of pieces in here that have long or rounded bottoms to them, but since we're working on with a cave, I recommend doing that. Doing well. How are you doing today? It's Friday. It's Friday. The weekend is almost here. Well, this is kind of my weekend because I did take the day off of work, so that way I could do some streaming, and then also this afternoon we'll do some prep work for people coming for BB's birthday this weekend. Let's see, there's also, like I said, turns. You can do a cave block. This actually isn't too bad to use for a ceiling as well. There we go. Okay. No. Again, this hierarchy is going to be your best friend because, as you notice, I'm trying to click on that and it wants to select the cave. I don't want the cave, I want this. So that hierarchy is going to help you quite immensely. And then, of course, if I wanted to have this be back over here, can do that. If I wanted to create walls, I suggest doing something that is kind of tall. Like this gives you, the nice thing is that these side pieces or these names also give you a little preview on what each of these will look like. So that's a plus. Let's see, where's a tall one? We'll do a small pillar. Again, you're always going to be toggling between the brush, which applies the item to your build, and then the select allows you to modify and move it around. So we got, well, even though this technically has walls in it, you'll notice that if I were to put, a lot of people, I think the biggest mistake that we have with this is thinking that, oh, I've got the cave, now I'll just put this piece over top of it and it'll plow right through. No, that's not the case at all. It'll actually, since it's since it's in a certain order, certain things are going to be over top of other things, and the cave feature doesn't dominate, or it isn't a piece that you can build into something. You have to kind of build around. At least that's been my experience with it, and I've not seen anybody else showcase the cave in any other way. If there is a tip or trick on that, let me know, because I would be curious to know how that works. Let's catch up on chat here for a second, see if anybody has asked any questions. Oh, that's awesome, Elena. It's your day off. Exciting. I hope you have some fun things planned, and if not, an amazing, relaxing day. How is Atomfall? Oh, that's right, Mouse. You're playing Atomfall. How's that going? What app is this? This is the Island Creator mouse. So There's the actual gaming side of Aloft, and then there's the island creator. So if you are in the main menu of Aloft, before you select your character, before you select your game, towards the bottom there is island creator, and this is what this feature is. Let's see. Definitely, how are you liking Atomfall? You wish your PC could handle games like this? I do too, Teddy. Well, I'm waiting for you to join us in a lot of these games. You'll get there, man. You'll get there. I mean, it took me a while to get to the computer that I'm at today, and like I said, my husband helped. Okay, I wouldn't say helped. He built my computer, which is fantastic because of everything that I am enjoying doing with streaming and gaming and things of that nature. If we would have just bought a computer, I don't know if it would have supported it as much as this one has. So it's been awesome, and I absolutely love it. So enjoy your day. I play this on Steam Deck, but I want to see if I can run on my laptop. Yeah, I wouldn't know if it would run very well, Sherry Cola, on a laptop. I guess it kind of depends on your laptop's RAM and storage to know if this is going to be a game that's going to work very well for that. Oh, Teddy wants to play Atomfall. Okay, I see how it is. He doesn't want to play Aloft. He wants to play Atomfall. I see. I mean, it should work on the laptop if you're using it out of Steam Deck or anything like that. My concern is, like, if your computer's RAM or hard drive isn't big enough to support it, it could crash. But at the same time, I wouldn't 100% know unless you kind of play around with it. So I was talking about Aloft. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, Teddy, you can't play Aloft. Yeah, because Aloft is Steam Deck only, PC only. I don't know if they're planning on doing any other if they're planning on doing any other platforms or not. I'd be curious to know if they were. Okay, so that's the back of that. Okay, so let's see. We're actually going to get rid of this piece. And Emerald Islands, we're going to have a small... I'm going to rotate this. So it kind of fits in with that. Now I'm not I don't think it will. Nope, I didn't think so. Didn't think so, but you never know. Sometimes the pieces decide that they want to be nice and utilize all the features. Sometimes they don't. Okay, so we have a triangle. I'm just kind of plopping pieces on with the idea of showcasing another feature, but it's easier to showcase that other feature once you have kind of an established island to work from and work with. We're gonna do this. Lower this down. Like I said, you can just like put all of these and move them around, finagle them as you need to. So we're gonna do something like this. The cool part about some of these is that you can really modify the inside of the cave as you want. So you notice that it, if you go back in the stream, I walked through the cave and it showcased that it was like a big open room kind of thing. But as I'm applying these other pieces onto here, you'll notice that the walkway has now become pretty narrow. So that's the cool part about this, is that you can modify how that cave operates and the structure of that as well. So we're gonna move this up just a little bit. Curious to see how tall this gets. Oh, sweet. It's gonna let me do that. And sometimes it can get a little finicky. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're playing with this. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. We've almost got the cave completely surrounded. So, like I said, it just takes some finagling and finessing to get this how you want it to be. Catch up on chat. If the game is good, I'd be willing to pay full price to show support once. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way, Cortex. If I really enjoy a game, I'll definitely show that support. I'm gonna refrain from trolling TT because of karma. Yeah, did everybody hear about the karma that Jersey had? He came to my Pal World base to tour it, and was giving me a hard time, trolling me, and I was trolling him, and he kept saying, "Oh, I'm going every time that you troll me, the file gets corrupted," or something along those lines. And then he was really mean to me, and then the file showed out, or came out pixelated. So I was like, that's not on me because it's not my system. It's on you, buddy. And because of that, that's karma coming back and be like, yeah, about that. So he has to come back and tour my base again. So yeah, karma is on my side. She'll get me back when I start streaming. Maybe not at first. Depends on how you treat me during your streams, Mouse. And also how you treat me between now and then. Should I call a minimum you will need? Okay, so specs for playing Aloft, yes. I have to start being nice to him before I stream again. Yeah, he was giving me a hard time saying like, "Oh, this is for yours and stuff," and I was like, "But I'm helping you. I'm helping you." It was pretty funny. Pretty funny conversation. Okay. Actually, I'm going to delete that. I'm going to make this process a little bit faster. We're going to find some medium pillar. And we're going to rotate this. So a lot of times when I'm doing caves now, when I'm doing caves, I like to have at least one section that is still visible to the cave itself, so that way I can kind of finesse and maneuver things around to work and position the way that I want them to be positioned. Just like that, and then we're gonna go just like this. And then I'm gonna copy and paste. We got the secondary one, and we are gonna move him over here. And I'm gonna move him around. Shelly, I don't know if you were here for this portion of it, but a lot of the features up here, so the move, the rotate, the resize, and the construction snap don't work for every single piece of this construction. So case in point, the scale doesn't work for these platforms, which are these island pieces, because of the fact that these are the sizes that they're supposed to be. But if you were to say apply a tree or a rock or anything like that, that's where the scale would work and allow you to make the rock either bigger or smaller. The same thing goes for the rotate. For these particular islands, you can rotate it from like left to right, but you can't rotate it front to back. Whereas items like rocks and trees and things like that, you can rotate them back and forth, side to side, but you can't. And then only the platforms can only rotate like 360 kind of thing. Yeah, and that was one of the things that I was very confused about when I first started building this, because I was like, this isn't working. Is my game broken or anything like that? But a lot of people are like, it just doesn't work for those particular items. So that was a fun lesson to learn. So you notice we got a nice little cave tunnel there. Got a nice little cave tunnel. It's pretty fun. Continue working and building around it. Again, I find it easier to just kind of, if you're going to do a cave, to just kind of build around it and finagle things as you want. Now, the cool thing is like, if I was like, oh, I don't really want that green piece there, I could always find another island piece and just kind of like overlay it. So I could take this piece here and move this around, so that way I was like, oh, it's not going to showcase it, kind of thing. So, I mean, there's a lot that you can really do with these island pieces. If you're not particularly liking the texture that it's showcasing, you can move things around, situate them to be more of what you're wanting them to do. We're going to come back. We're going to fill out our last piece here. Let's see, let's do a small... Now, the other thing with this, too, that you're going to have to remember, the reason why they're continuously falling down into the cave itself is because they typically will be applied onto the screen wherever your demo person is. So, if I pulled this out, there is a small gray figure. This is a demo person. So basically this kind of showcases how big things look in comparison to your character in the game. I feel like this character doesn't fully represent the size of your character in game. I feel like the in-game character is a little bit bigger. So if you're building it solely around this person, I would recommend, pulling the island in to make sure that it is to the sizing that you want. And then if it's not, you can always bring it back to this creator mode to then finesse the size as you need to. We're gonna, come back. Get over here. There we go. So now we're just gonna kind of finish closing this up. And of course, me being the type of creator that I am, this is gonna be super duper fun because I'm gonna be very, very picky on how it goes. Yeah, that piece I don't like. And again, everything that I'm doing is on mouse and keyboard. I am not familiar with how this would work on a controller. I would almost recommend that you don't use a controller for this, based upon all of the things that you would have to do in this build mode. So that would be my biggest recommendation for this. Obviously, If you're more comfortable with a controller, obviously this will work with it. It just, based upon like everything that I'm doing for this build mode, I'm not sure how effective slash stressing this creator mode would be with a controller. That one I didn't like so much. We're gonna try a small pillar. You over here. What I'm trying to do is create this last wall without interfering with the cave pathway itself. So right here, just trying to close out this section right here. Let's see, we're gonna rotate this because I feel like that'll be a little bit better. Might get a okay. Let's see what's what will defend me from what? Hello, Ivan. Welcome in. Thanks for coming in and checking out the stream. It's true, Mouse. Luna is now a moderator for Jersey. It's awesome. Already getting threatened with timeouts. Just stop being such a troublemaker, Teddy, and you won't get that. And find out the hard way. Just all of a sudden, Teddy's in timeout. Can't do anything. Okay, actually, let's see what this is gonna do me. This might be what I've been looking for. Kinda. I mean, it'll work for what I'm trying to do-ish. Slowly close this up a little bit. I do... Hold on. What if I do this? Pull that down. That actually might be good. Hello, Faylene. Welcome in. We're playing with Aloft and the island creator right now. Edge flat. This looks like it might need to be moved up just a little bit, yeah. If we have just a little bit of platform, that's not a bad thing. And then to kind of close this off, I'm gonna do copy paste, move this over. Play nice. Actually, gonna pull this down a little bit. And then, ooh, I can do a, where is it? A slope add-on. Okay. I'm gonna just rotate this. Maybe? Might be a little too big. Let's do hill add-on. Big important feature is knowing where your items spawn in when you select them. And that's always going to be wherever your person is located on your island. So if your person is within an island itself or a platform piece, you might have a little bit of difficulty with that. Oh no! Just had some bad news, Mouse? What's going on? Wait. Really, Mouse? I figured that out right before I read your post. Hey, it's a good thing. Be nice to Luna. Now, there is a particular reason why I'm placing things in a certain way and in a certain format, because I want to show another feature when we get to that point. Okay, now we need one more piece, and we're going to copy and paste this piece. We're going to lower this guy down to kind of cover up the rest of this. And then copy paste one more time. Lift him up. Rotate. And all right. We have pretty much enclosed our cave here. The only thing is like this piece is not enclosed, but I feel like that might be okay. Actually, no, we're gonna do something. Hold on. I'm gonna create a, where's a flat piece? Hill add-on. Small flat. Because there we go. Lift that up just a little bit. Double check. Actually lift that up just a little bit. And then whatever else isn't covered will be covered on the exterior walls of the cave itself. Like, yeah, we can see through that, but there's technically, if I was going to come in like this, guess what? It's covered. So yeah, that's a basic cave right there. Obviously you can create twists and turns within this folder. There's so many options. You can do a cave block, a straight cave, turn, an end, a split. There's a cave wall, so if you wanted to have it like a flat up and down, you can do that. The cave room is what we built off of, and then the edge. So different types of like edges for caves themselves. So don't think that Jersey had much say in Luna becoming a mod. That's kind of funny. That's pretty funny, actually. Oh, so many people are actually happy. Yes, I'm happy Luna's a mod. I think she deserves it. I think she's done some amazing. She's been an amazing person on the channel. So I think she definitely needs it. She definitely deserves it. Okay, so this next feature that I'm going to do is kind of show you how the water works on this. Just because it can get pretty finicky. Oop. So we're gonna move this over here. We're gonna lower this. So this pond platform that I created is a great kind of starting piece if you aren't fully comfortable or fully understand how the water feature works on this particular build. You notice it has the nice little engrave there. It works really, really well for just kind of creating this whole like area in which you can start building from. Otherwise, the water is going to do what water does, and it's going to fill up as you are raising it and lowering it. It's going to fill up as it does that. And so, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. It's kind of hard to explain a little bit, but it's not going to just like do exactly what you want it to do. It's going to work and operate just like water does. Okay. Raise that a little bit because I do want to move the pond back just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so if I wanted to, let's see if anybody else has come in yet. Mouse isn't happy. Aw. Faylene, I'm glad to hear you're doing a lot better today. Better make an effort and click the like button. I appreciate that, Mouse. Appreciate that a lot. Okay, so to create water, I believe it's an entity. Let me double check that. There's so many locations. Yes, so entity, general, water. So there's different water options here. You can choose, these are what are called water planes. So this is where the water is going to just kind of sit, and then there's waterfalls, and then there's the waterfall splash, which the waterfall splash is kind of confusing. It doesn't work the way that I would expect it to work. I'm still trying to figure out and finesse and all that fun stuff with it. So I will try to demonstrate how it works, but it is probably a pretty complicated piece. Unless my system is just acting up or being weird or something like that, or maybe like there's supposed to be an update, but basically it's the splash that happens at the bottom of the waterfall, and then it also has a feature that pushes the water out in a certain direction, and I don't know if I would have to double check on how that looks in the actual game itself, but from what I see in the actual creator mode, it just kind of looks weird. So I'd have to test that out a little bit more. Luna might need be excused on Friday afternoons as she's my Fortnite Friday streaming buddy. If that's okay with you. Survive alone. Oh, that's right. You guys do Friday afternoon Fortnite streams. With all my yes, I am happy. Aw, mouse. That was very sweet of you, mouse. Okay. So, water plane. This is literally what the water plane looks like. It's just like a whole square of water, and depending on where you place it will determine where it lies. So that's a medium, and there's a little bitty small one. But we're going to work with the large just because of the fact that the area in which we're working is large. So I'm going to click that down. You notice it doesn't pop up as its own individual piece right now. That is because it is associated now with the medium round platform. It created this nice little tab piece that drops it down. There's the water plane right there. What I want to do is actually move this up so that way it looks like it fills this space a little bit more. So I'm going to move from the brush to the selector tool. I am going to select the water plane and I'm just going to raise that up so that way it looks like it fills that space. So pretty easy to do this portion of it. Now, if I was going to make something that looked a little bit more natural, like it didn't have like this little piece carved out of it. Let's say I wanted to put water here and have it run down. I find that it's easier to work with the smaller water pieces instead. So right now it's on the large flat. Don't need that. Just want this. Just because it's less to work with. But if I wanted this to fill this spot, I would have to raise and lower it according to that. And then of course copy and paste, move this over. Now this one, I believe, if I remember correctly, yes, you can raise and lower it to make it seem like it's flowing downwards and working more with the terrain itself. So move this over. This is where being up close and personal with your creations would be beneficial, because then you can, if you're a creator or a person like me that is very, very finicky on how things move and operate, having this close feature is very, very helpful. And then we got this piece, and we're going to move him. Where'd he go? Oh, that one. So we're going to move him down. Because I want him to showcase down here. And then if I wanted to do a little waterfall. So we got large waterfall, medium, and small. I'm just going to kind of select him there. So that's what the waterfall kind of looks like. If you can kind of see. And unfortunately, you can't really rotate it right now. I wish you could, but you can't. So that's what that waterfall. So if I wanted to have like a little waterfall that comes out right here, it'd be kind of cute to have one that showcases through the rocks there. I'm gonna select that. Nope, wrong one. I can rotate him. I can move him up and down. Make it seem like the water, there's like a spring back there that's trying to escape. Rotate. And then, of course, these ones you can resize too. You can make them bigger, you can make them smaller based upon your building needs. And then again, this is where taking a look from a different angle is going to be beneficial. And then just little stream right there. So yeah, that's how the water piece works. I'll admit, not my best work, but at least it kind of shows you guys how it works, how you finagle it, how you finesse it. The waterfall feature, like I said, I'll show you how this works. See how it's got this big splash. I've noticed with this one, it doesn't always like to resize. So where did the water splash go? Pond, there we go, the splash. So if I did this, it doesn't always, yeah, it's kind of finicky. I feel like it sometimes works like a platform at times. We're gonna lower the, well, yeah, it says that this is the small splash. The small, medium, and large splashes I feel like are roughly the same as far as size goes. So, let's see. Need to behave in chap. I'm trying to give teach a lesson here, guys. Appreciate the support there, Shelly. Ooh, maybe Luna doesn't want to play Fortnite with you anymore, Teddy. Ooh. Can't have you stressing my buddy mouse out. That's a good philosophy, Jenny. Ignoring the comments because he knows that they're lies. Yeah, I can see. I have to be nice to Luna. Yes, you do have to be nice to Luna, Mouse. You should just be nice to her in general. Don't be scared of Luna. Be scared of Fiona. Hi, Chrissy. Welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you so much for coming in and checking out the stream. We're just playing with the island creator here, kind of showcasing different features and things that you can do within there. So we're going to actually move on from water just because I feel like there's not a lot that you can do with it. It really comes down to your own personal preference and how you design it and how you work with it and maneuver it. It's, to me, pretty straightforward. The difficulty part is just getting all of the pieces to work the way that you want them to work. So it's a lot of finessing. So we're going to move on to the foliage. So this is going to be all of your plants, not your trees, but most of your plants and things of that nature. So you have in here, if we go to Emerald Islands, we're going to have like your purple flowers that you see everywhere, the yellow flowers. So, I mean, you can put these guys almost anywhere you want to put them. Sometimes you have to, like, place them and then you have to pull them up just like any other feature on here. You got the pink flowers. You even have cave plants. So, like, the weeds that you find within the cave themselves. Cave grass. So, you got the cave grass there, the large, the bushes. Those, I forgot about those flowers. Yes, those are going in. See? They're so pretty. They're so pretty. So you have all these types of plants. You can do pond plants. So the purple flowers that you have the orange ones, the pond grass. all of that is available here. And of course, that's weird that those are missing icons, but you have the grasses from the other biomes as well. Desert grass, savanna grass, savanna tall grass. So like all of these are available. So this is all of the pretty plants that you can, not necessarily the ones that you, well, I suppose these ones are the ones that you interact with, but majority of these are going to be the ones that you don't gain resources from. I feel like a lot of the resource items are going to be in your entity tab. So in brush, again, build out by biome, but then also additional stuff as well. So you have your general, which is going to be your water miscellaneous. If you wanted a certain spawn point on your island, so anybody who comes to your island visits it, you can actually create a specific spawn point. Trigger zone, I'm not exactly sure what that is. I've tried to figure it out. I've not seen anybody use it or work with it or anything like that, so I'm not familiar with it. Biome random tree, so this is where I think when you go back to your general and you identify the biome, I think that's what this piece associates with, is the biome tree. So it's going to be based upon what biome you identify with. Well, I guess not, no? Interesting. Because it's flipping through a whole bunch of trees now. Huh. Insect spawn, you can input that on there. It's just like a little dot that you can put somewhere. So if you want a certain insect to show up somewhere, you can do that. Let's see. We have the Leviathan, which the Leviathan is really, really cool. I had a lot of fun with this one. So here you go, guys. Here's the Leviathan. Look at that thing. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Now, could you imagine if you had the Leviathan and you used that as your floating island around the base? I don't know if that would actually work or not, but it would be really cool if you could claim the Leviathan as your home base and fly that around. It would be as close as flying a dragon. Just saying. You got another body part. So the Leviathan actually has several different body parts to it, depending on how short or long you want it to be. Just kind of showing, and then there's the little tail. And then these plants that you obtain toward the end, these wisteria plants, those are available. Let's see, if we go to Emerald Isles, we have plants, so a continuation of cave plants. So we have, if we go down here, again, just kind of showcasing what these look like. Oh, there's the wisteria, by the way. If we were going to show cave plants, we have the fern, we have the vines that you can input. The vine ones can be pretty finicky because of the fact that you have to place them correctly onto the ceiling. So just keep that in mind as you're building these, that to try to get them as close to the ceiling, you may, again, have to go back and forth between your actual live game and this creator to get them right. I've had some difficulties with it because what looks like how it should work and how it should appear in the creator mode isn't always where it's placed in the actual real game. So a tad bit there. Cave moss, cave flowers. So if you wanted some glowing flowers going through, leading the way. You can have pond plants. So these are going to be your bushes, the lily pads. So if we decide that we want to go up here. Also, if you're wanting to get around quicker, using your mouse toggle thing is probably the fastest way to move around. You got your lilies. Now, again, if you wanted to maneuver these, bring those up to the surface, just like that. So if you're noticing Oh, that looks like it's not placing right. You just have to probably bring it towards the surface. What else do we have? So we have trees. We have a lot of the uh, a lot of different options here. So we have the great chestnut, which is, I think, a really, really cool tree. So we got him. Just gonna set him right there. You can overlook the pond there. Provide some cute little shade. Oh, I didn't realize that that water went out the back. See, that's another thing that you always have to remember with like the water is where it shows up. May not always be where you think it's supposed to go. So let's see, we're gonna do the large water plane. See if we can just kind of get rid of that just a little bit. Check out the rest of the areas. I mean, I suppose I could. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, now we got it. Okay. So let's see. Actually, what I should do is put another thing right here and have this piece flow into this one, but that's just me being picky about the overall looks of stuff. Let's see, in Entity, we go back to Emerald Islands, we have the stones. So these are the various stones that you can break. You can get the regular rocks, tall rocks. You can get a mossy rock, which it doesn't show up now, but when you get it into the game, it'll show some of the moss on there. You can even get the gathering stones, so the ones that you can kind of collect off the ground, either as a cluster or as an individual stone. And then you have your wind stones, which are going to have like the little glow-in-the-dark markings, which if we make it dark, there are your markings. So it's kind of got some nice glowy features to it. And yeah, you can adjust the weather. So like if you want to see what it looks like when it's downpouring, there you go. Pretty cool feature to have. Intense rain. Light rain, intense rain. Whatever works. Let's see what else. Rock terrain. This is actually another cool feature here. So rock terrain, you can have rocks from the caves. So you got your stalactites and stalagmites. So if you wanted to create the pillars or the stalactites and mites within the cave itself, you can definitely do that. Let's see. So there's a pillar. And then you got the face structures, which are a craftable tool. And then this, Shelly, pay attention, because we got to see that dragon type creature island last night. These are your wind craters. This is what the skeleton of that island are made of. So you have your various pieces. And what's cool about these is that, again, you can spin them around, move them up or down. You can adjust the sizing of them. It's pretty cool. I actually really like these things. These are super fun to build with. If we were going to go like this and like this and move this down, guess what, guys? I've got a cave entrance. A really cool cave entrance. If I adjust the sizing of it just a little bit. Whoop. Pretty cool cave entrance. Chrissy, that's awesome. The fact that your system auto-corrected Teddy to Tessie is fantastic. Might have to roll with that. The Leviathan is pretty cool. I have not tested building on that in any way, shape, or form yet. It would be kind of cool to create something off of that, but like I said, I have not done anything with that yet. That's a Katesy is a pro at doing island creation type mode, so I am not there yet. Yes, those are what. Yes, so those are the windstone. Where'd they go? Or the wind craters are what she used to create the skeletons of that particular creature. You also have floating pieces, which these are super fun to play with. They are basically little floating islands. And again, you can adjust them. And you can redo the sizing of them to make them bigger or smaller. Move them around. So, another fun entity piece. Let's see what else I can showcase. Oh, you can do effects. So the windstone dust that you a lot of times see within caves or at night around the windstones, you can actually apply that as well. Did I miss anything? Floating pieces. Nope. So Fallen Heights. These are all the plants that you can find there, the trees that you can find there, the stones. So a lot of similar things, but they just have the specific biome touches. Gigantic puff flowers, so that's a effect of the area. Floating pieces, again, specific to this particular biome. And the same thing goes for the red cliffs. The exploration rewards are biome pieces that you can harvest. So you have specific rewards like your crops. So if you wanted to have carrots around here, if you wanted to input blueberries, if I wanted to have some wheat on here, can do that. If I wanted to have animals show up. So let's see, I want to do a goat in honor of Jersey. You have a goat spawn right there. And that's what those little pieces are. So if you go to a corrupted island and you see this and you open it up, that's what that is. You can also have an alpaca. Now, I don't think you can select the colors of them. I think it's a random selection, and or if they do offer it, I'm not sure where. So just to kind of keep that in mind. You have the aloe plants on here. You can do a burnt stump. So if you want to gather more resources, like your charcoal and things like that, your salt crystals you can apply. The bright sunflowers are there. Hardstone wind crystals that you can apply. The water opals that you can pick up. Beehive. So if I wanted to put a beehive on the tree somewhere, could do that. It's not gonna let me. The bones. So I don't remember, Shelly, if it was you or if it was somebody else that made a comment about the bones on that dragon island and the location of them. You have a couple different options here. Darkwood, which is a later on resource that you can obtain, is here. Oh, this is where it gets fun, guys. So all of the stuff that we wish we could build and use in game are right here. Right here. So your shipwreck rewards. You have your grassworth. So these are, I don't know why they're classified as shipwreck rewards, but they're there. A lost anchor. So if you want knowledge, or if you want people to come to your island and learn things, this is something you can apply there. A sea basket you can put on there. Let's see what else we have. The platform you can apply to there. You can have a various kinds of chests. You have the wood chests that you can apply, the stone chests. You can even bury a chest on here. Here's your knowledge stone, your atlas. So atlases, if you're not familiar, if you haven't gotten too far in the game, are used to help identify other important islands as you explore them. I think they point out ones that are going to showcase this, like these types of learning, I believe. I'd have to double check that to be sure, but I believe they will lead you to these types of learnings. A lost book, so you can add paper. A beacon. So the beacons are kind of nice because if you apply them to an island, it will always identify that island. So if you want to save a particular island, or let's say a thing that I'm going to be doing on my game is that I want to keep record of certain islands because I want to go back and build on them and create a civilization or anything like that on that particular island. Not necessarily make it my home base, but just build on it and create something from it. Use it as kind of a platform to work with. So these beacons are going to be a great way for you to identify that this is the island on your map. It'll showcase that if you toggle the particular beacon. There's several different beacons in which you can build on the islands. You can also input them here as well. But those beacons will help you identify certain islands. Let's see. Those are what Shelly, need to head out. Thank you for streaming this. Katie, I'm gonna give the creator another try. Yes, definitely do that, Shelly. I think you would find the creator mode very, very beneficial. If you have questions, feel free to reach out, or if you want to get on together and work some things through, feel free to reach out. Or if you want me to give you some tips and tricks, definitely reach out to me. I would be more than happy to help you. I think this is something that you're going to really enjoy, Shelly. Knowing how much you enjoy making things and creating things and building things, and the talent that you have for designing and decorating, I think this is going to be something that you're going to enjoy once you get the hang of it. Love how the island is coming out. Thank you, Sherry Cola. I'll admit there are some things on it that I'm not in liking so much, but I'm doing this more for a demonstration and how everything goes. If you guys are lucky, and if you want me to, I can give you a sneak peek on the island that I'm working on in a collaboration with Jersey. Maybe. Or I will show you some islands that I pulled from the workshop in Aloft and show you guys some of those that were built by other creators, just to kind of give you the idea and potential of what you can do in this build mode. Am I at that level? Absolutely not. But to know that you can get to that level, or to know that these islands are created, is something that has actually inspired me to know, hey, this is actually possible. Or, oh, I didn't know you could actually do that. Let's go back and try, kind of thing. So I'll think about which one I want to show you guys, and see what you guys, which one would be more beneficial. Let's see, what else do we have? Random biome crops. So you can click this and it'll toggle through the different crops, the different animals, the different cave rewards. Let's see, what else do we have? Ruins and buildings. I think a lot of people are going to like this one, because again, this is where your ability to construct something that you can't construct in the game is going to be available to you. So construction, you can do anything that you currently can construct. So your wood, your floors, your foundation pieces, all of that stuff that you already are able to make in the game is here available to you. The additional nice thing to this is it's not just these pieces, but it's also, if I remember correctly, the the pieces that aren't available in the game. So let me double check. So these are all the turf pieces and the roofs, props, decorations. I have to remember where everything is at. Machines. So your sewing table you can apply there if you want to have something there. If you want a rocky habitat, which are pretty new with the new critters. They've added that in there. Cooking and farming, beacons. There's your little beacons that we talked about before. Sailing, helm, storage, all your leaf baskets, hay, stockpiles. Lighting furniture, clay, dark wood. Yep, so all those walls and foundations as well. Pull these up. Construction. So we have the remains. So this is where, okay, so this section is where all of the stuff that you can't build in game is where you can build. So the stone planks and stuff, like the resource piles for stones and wood and some charcoal, all of those are found here. So you have the plank piles that you can pick up. Some of them you can pick up, some of them you can't. Depends on which one you use. Let's see, abandoned tools. So you can put on here an axe, things of that nature. Weathered items. So again, something that's really, really awesome. You can have a ruined sawmill, the kiln. A lot of these people have already discovered. Actually, let's zoom in so we can get a better and closer look at some of these. So there's the campfire, another one that you can harvest information or harvest resources from. Glider stand that we've seen before if you've played the game. Another campfire. Workbench. So I mean, like, all of these are available in there. Vases, broken vases. So just some pretty awesome things. And then let's see, we'll go into shipwreck. So you can put barnacles on the side of your islands, which we've seen in a couple locations. A dead one, empty one, some seaweed if you want to do that, and some shells that I've seen kind of floating around the islands that I wish I could pick up but can't. You got the crates and barrels that are available. So if we were gonna kind of showcase some of those, a broken one. There's a barrel piece right there, and I believe if I were to select one of these pieces, yep. So if I wanted this to maybe lay up against this. I could do that. So yeah. I mean, it's not doing it perfectly, but that's where you need to like move and finagle things around. And change your viewpoint constantly in this game. So otherwise, what looks good in one angle may not look good in another angle. So, where were we at? Ruins and buildings, shipwrecks. Oh, yeah, your boat. Let's see where we got. We got a pontoon. We'll do this one a little more. Just kind of play with this one again. So yeah. Like I said, all the things that you couldn't build in the actual game are available here. Broken sail. Let's see, what's the next piece? Oh, we don't know. That's shipwreck. Double checking. Oh, so here's the other piece that a lot of people are like, ooh, I wish we had these in game. Here are your platforms for the ancient civilization. So all of those marble features that you guys have been seeing throughout Aloft are right here. The round circle, the decorative tree. Oh, helps if we can see it. So this would actually be kind of cool right here. Hang on. If we take this, lower it down a little bit. Make it seem like that was coming out of that. I think, yep, I can even make it smaller. Make it seem like everything just kind of grew around it or invaded into it. Bronze plate. I think this is where you can also create this, like if you want to do like stone steps. There's a door if you wanted to put a door somewhere. There's some regular steps, but I think I've seen people do like the floating step patterns. I think you'd have to build those individually. I could be wrong. Oh, hang on. Brick pass. Here we go. Here we go. Never mind. Here you go. Here they are. You can, I think you can do them individually though, if that's what you wanted to do. Curved one, straight path. So you can do it individually, or you can use what they have already existing. Yeah, the options are very endless, Jenny, as far as like what you can do. As I was explaining in the beginning of the stream, this gives you a lot of flexibility. It's not probably the most it wouldn't be like what I would consider the hardest version of a developer code or developer program that would create made from scratch characters or environments or anything like that. It gives you preset options, but from those options you can create so many different things, so many different ideas. I mean, if you ever have a chance to go check out the Discord for Aloft, a lot of the same tools that I am using, people have used in their own builds, and they are all different. They are all unique. They are all spectacular in their own way. And I am by no means a pro at what I'm doing. I know enough to make me dangerous and to provide some tips and tricks. But at the end of the day, there are people out there that are making things so amazingly in this creator mode. You can also do the ecosystems. So if you wanted to create a corrupted island, you could do that. You could do the corrupted trees. There's a broken birdhouse that you have to do, a ecosystem barrier, a young node that you would have to fight at some point. And then you can do full on corruption mode. So there's like an island that has been contaminated, which is going to be your ecosystem piece. And then there's full on corruption, which is going to be the interactive features where there's an enemy that spawns. There's a mature node if you want to, and it even has its own sound effects. There's a barrier, a fungus bomb. There's different types of nodes depending on what you want them to do. Obviously, this is going to be your basic node that's just going to have the pieces that spawn out. And then there's nodes that will defend themselves and attack you and do different things. So, I mean, lots of different things that you can do. There's mushrooms in here, so you can create the ultimate eco environment here. I do not know, and this is partly because of the fact that I've not created a corrupted location. If you were to spawn in a corrupted island and defeat it, I do not know the end results of that. I'm not sure if you would have to build the island first as is and then add the corruption, or if I don't know what the end result would be, honestly. I've seen some people create corrupted builds. One that was really cool was a corrupted flying ship, and I thought that was actually really cool. It made me think of Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean. But I do not know if you go in and defeat the corruption on your self-created island, what that end result would be. That would be something that I'd either have to research through other videos or try to figure out myself. If I ever get inspired to make a corrupted island, I will let you guys know and let you know the results. So might play around with the island creator. Yes, definitely should, Sherry Cola. If you have questions, like I said, feel free to reach out and ask me. I would be more than happy to help. Again, I am by no means a pro at this, but there's just, and I think part of the reason that people struggle with this in the beginning is just there's so many options, and then understanding what those options are. And I hope that by sitting down and showcasing all of these things that you can do on this island and watching me build this from scratch helps you understand how this program works, how it operates, and what you can do and can't do within it. I'm hoping you guys take this and just run with this if this is something that really interests you, and just run with it and create the most amazing island creations. I would absolutely love to see what you create. Yeah, Sherry Coley, I would love to see what you create if you go in and play around with it. I have fun with it. Does it get frustrating at times and stressful? Absolutely. But then again, any game that you go into, any building game that you do, you're going to experience that. Don't get discouraged in any way, shape, or form. It's just learning the system and learning the process. But like I said, I absolutely enjoy it. My issue for the most part is the nitpicky finagling and making sure everything looks smoothly and correctly. And there's a lot of things on here that I would be like, if I was doing this for my own island, I would have done it slightly different, or I would have done it I would have taken a little bit extra time to showcase something. And maybe that's something that I could do, is be like, hey, the next island project that I do that I want to build on, which I do have a couple island ideas that I want to create and build off of. Maybe I'll do that for another live stream, or maybe even a speed build, or a recording build that I do. But like, this was mostly just to kind of showcase the features of this creator mode itself. So yeah, that's most of what I know about this creator mode. Do you guys have any questions about it? Like, if there's anything in particular that you're curious about, if you're able to do that particular feature, if you're able, or if there's anything that you'd like me to revisit. You guys, I'll give a brief pause here. And I'll save this island too. I might come back and finagle some things. So like, the way the cliffs are kind of not smooth, that's part of my pickiness in being a creator. I like to have things look as natural as possible, because if in nature things are worn down, wear and tear thing and whatnot, and that's what I like to make sure my creations have. And so maybe I'll come back and finagle this a little bit, and then maybe I can even create this as an island and upload it for people if you guys are interested in it. If you like how it turns out, if you are inspired by it, I can finagle it a little bit, finish it up, and then upload this and allow you guys to download it if you are interested. If you are, I leave a comment on the stream itself and let me know, and I would be happy to upload this for you guys to use for your own builds. Let's see, one more. Don't want that. Where did that other one? Deck. Lock door. Door clean. Regular lock door. Wind disc. Actually, I'm going to move this one. As cool as that is, I kind of like the idea of this one being right here. And water coming out of this one. I might put some other rocks in there or something. But yeah. So that's mostly the island creator mode. I'm gonna actually save this, like I said, and switch over to the actual game. Probably about a half an hour, maybe 45 minutes left in streaming today, and then I will have to log off and get some things done because we have some family and friends that are coming into town tomorrow for BB's birthday. We have a birthday party for him this weekend, and so I want to make sure we have things ready for everybody to show up. So I'm gonna go into my actual game and work on a build that I have been finagling and working on. Am I all ready for baby's birthday? Sure. At this point, everything that I need to do is like the last minute stuff. So getting the food and last minute cleaning, and I do need to wrap his present. We have a couple presents that were sent to us this week that we need to wrap up, so those we'll need to do. Yeah, and then just putting up decorations, which I didn't want to do up until like today/tomorrow, just because of the fact that I didn't want some of the decorations require balloons, and I didn't want those to like deflate and stuff, so. Would you like to save your work? Save and quit, yes. So we're gonna switch over to the other side. And I can show you guys what I've been working on over here. So this is a game that I'm going to be doing, or this is a world that I'm going to be doing a collab with Jersey in. But my idea is to pull in the island that I am working on for that collab. But I also have been working on another build in there so we can navigate between islands. So, and the idea of this world in particular, oh yeah, that's a build you can do right there. See that picture? That's something you could do in the creator mode. So just to let you know. The idea of Pandora, this particular one, is more for if anybody wants to do a collaboration with me, and we can do some builds together. Now, the disadvantage of creating of islands and your home islands, etc., is the fact that you can only have technically one created island into each game, and you can only have one official home island. So that's a disadvantage of that. I wish that you could have more than one base or more than one location, but that's I think the workaround of that is the beacons. So you could have an official island that you use, which this is kind of going to be my home island right here. This is going to be the official one that I use to float around and gather resources, and then I'll take those resources back to the beacon islands and create homes and establishments on those. So this is the flying ship that I've been working on. Was kind of hoping to be a little bit further along, but this has just been my own little personal project. I've seen a lot of people create these flying create these floating ships, and I'm like, I want to make that. I gotta pick up the nephew. He got back from school trip earlier than expected. Have a good rest of the stream. Bye Teddy. You drive safe. Drive safe and say hello to your nephew from all of us. So just kind of show you guys. It's still a huge work in progress. I'm hoping to make the front of the ship look more like an actual ship. That's why you see all of the steps and stuff. And then the back of it, I'm gonna have a room in the lower portion of it for my biome resources. And then this main portion of it, so this is actually a little island that you can get right off the bat. It starts off with just this pond area, and then I created the turf area around the pond. But this is where all of my little resources are, so any of the little critters that I find, I will put them into those habitats based upon the biome in which I discovered them. Already we have 2 bats, so we got a little bat hanging there and a bat there. We've got our little lizard back over there from the Emerald Isles biome. We have these trees over here. We have some bird feeders. So yeah, just a bunch of different biomes that we can use, and then we have, like I said, the water that we can pull from, and then we've got our 2 little lambs. Our 2 little lambs right here. We're already making messes. The disadvantage of we're supposed to have 2 little lambs. Where's the other little lamb? We're supposed to have a black and a white one. Where'd you go? I feel like there might be a glitch going on in the game right now where oh, there you are. Where some animals are disappearing. So yeah, hi buddy! Come on over here. Yeah, I know. One of the things that is a disadvantage of creator mode is being able to put food into the boxes. Unless you have actual physical, like you built it non-creator mode style, I feel like filling up those boxes is really difficult to do. I've tried to do it the way with going in here and where is it at? Like putting the haystack down, and then I gather it, and then I go into my pack and it's not showing up, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. Oh yeah, we have some butterflies and we have some bees. Let's see. I wonder, let's see what else we can create on here. Oh, that's right, we have the beehives. So we can add those. Let's see. I feel like the flowers are over here. Yep. We'll have a beehive here and here. What else? Oh yeah, frog, flower pot, insect. That up here. Our wall of insects. I really hope the lizards don't eat the insects. This looks really good. Oh, thank you, Jenny. Yeah, it's been a fun little project. It's been a very fun project. And yep, you got the butterfly. That butterfly. All I can think about is that Reading Rainbow song. Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. We could put a little frog thing right here. Just to have some fun with that. Flower pot. Aww. Thank you so much, Jenny. And you don't suck. It just takes lots of practice. I use a lot of picture resources. So this was actually, some of this build was something that I found on the Discord. So like that portion of it up there was something that I found somebody else had created or something similar to it, and then I modified it to be my own design and creation. What I liked about theirs is they actually had a glass window where this stone arch is, and the only reason why I went away from that is because I wanted something a little bit wider and taller and to be able to have that kind of like open air feeling to it. So I modified it just a little bit. I did like the fact that that particular build used the stairs here as kind of a cage roofing for this section. I've seen people use the lotus platforms and some other things as well. I've actually seen somebody use the plank feature and plank across, and this was the one that I really liked in terms of how it looked, but it's pretty much a combination of a lot of different ideas from different pieces and specs, and just kind of brought together in my own build. So don't be afraid to use inspiration that you find from other people. Obviously make sure you credit if you do find that inspiration from other people, but that's as far as like my own personal builds. Those, I would say my my island that I'm creating right now is my own idea. I did get inspiration from somebody else because they used a really big tree, and that's what I will disclose about that island. But there's a lot of people that are building a lot of great things, and you never know when inspiration's gonna strike. No, I get that. In your head it looks amazing, but to actually do it you go blank. I get that. And it's hard because you have to like take a step back, especially if you have a picture in front of you, and be like, okay, how did they do that? And because it's like, it's different seeing a picture versus seeing what it actually looks like live. So like this looks very different from the inspiration that I found somewhere else. But I still love how it turned out. It turned out really well. There's still some decorations and stuff like that that I want to apply to it. I just haven't done it yet. But yeah, this has been a little fun project, and I like it because this is the ship that I want to use to like fly around everywhere. The sheep that are on here will eventually be relocated and rehomed in different locations. But yeah, the main purpose of this, oh my eye, sorry. The main purpose is like a transportation vessel and to sneak through the asteroid field of this game. Oh, I was gonna show you guys. Let's see, hold on. I'm gonna do this one real quick. Put him up here. sometimes hard to see when you are at this angle. There we go. Because of the grass and stuff, but we're gonna do that. And I'm going to put some of the bees here. So that way it looks like they are hanging out with the hives. Just make Teddy do it. To be honest, I tell him what I'm thinking and he makes it happy. He's better at that than me. Oh, that's fantastic. That is fantastic. Oh, I was gonna show you guys a few islands that I have found through the workshop. That's right, I was gonna do that. Let's see, where would be a great place? We have this island over here. Let's go to the other side of this island and do that. Okay. Partly because I don't want to like spawn something in and have it like destroy my island. So, and we're gonna harvest that real quick. Even though I technically don't need it. But. Okay, if you ever get a island, a uploaded island from the workshop, the way that in which you do that is there's two ways. The way that I find to be the most beneficial, or the easiest way to do it, is come into your, like if you click tab on keyboard, come into your kind of inventory or bag, so to speak, and then there's these little toggles up top. There is one here that is for your personal homes, and you'll notice that I have a bunch of them listed here. These are ones that I've pulled in and taken a look at and explored and things like that, but then I despawned them. And then there's the custom islands that I have attached to my game but haven't spawned them in yet, or they're just still kind of hanging out there. To get these types of islands, the best way to do it that I've found, and the most efficient way to do it, is by going and clicking on the Steam Workshop. This opens up your Steam profile, and it showcases all of the islands that are available. So like if I wanted an airship, for example, this was that corrupt one that I was talking about earlier, the one that you could go in and fix the corruption. I could do that one. Let's see. I'm trying to find one that I haven't done yet. We have a turtle husk island, and you can click through the pictures. Oh my goodness, that poor turtle! That poor turtle! So I mean, lots of different islands, and then the star ratings is based upon the community's rating of your island, I believe. I think you can, yeah, I'm pretty sure you can vote on these. I'm not sure how though. The creator information. So Melanie is a great island creator. She's made so many amazing islands. She has tons of them on here, and my favorite one, which happens to be this guy right here, was created by Melanie. Like, she did such a great job with this one. But if you want to pull in one of these, oh no, Bunny's the developer, sorry, developer of Loft. If you ever want to pull in one of these uploaded islands, you need to go in, find the one that you want. Let's see all of them. Just kind of take a look, see if there's one that I don't have that I can show you guys how to spawn in. Bird-like ship with wings. Interesting. Ship, work in progress. Max size mothership. Ooh, this one's kind of cool. Cave winding waterfall. I mean, Jenny, that's a win-win. That's a win-win. You tell him what you want built, and then it gets on his nerves. That's a complete win-win. Oh, here's the there's a turtle one. So if I click onto that one, sadly there's only one picture, but that's pretty cool. But I think I might pull this one in. This one's pretty nice. Yeah. So in order to get this one on here, you just have to click on subscribe. And then it says this item has been added to your subscription. Some games will require you to relaunch them before the item will download. So the nice thing is that I haven't run into that issue with Aloft yet. It does take a little bit of time, not depending on your internet connection. I've had it be anywhere between like 5 minutes to 15 minutes before it showcases in your game. Sometimes it's faster, sometimes it's longer, but that's, I would say, the average time that it takes for something like this to be inputted into your game. Again, you may have a little bit different experience based upon your internet connection. You may need to restart it, but once you have what you want, you go back to your game. I typically give it a couple minutes and then I will spawn it. I'm still watching, but a strange man came on YouTube wearing a squirrel outfit. Screaming, and he was screaming to be trolled. So Jersey started his stream? He said he was going to be a little late today because he had some errands to run. Originally he was going to try to come back and do a tour of my Pal World base, but had, like I said, had his errands to run this morning, and so we had to reschedule that. But has he finally started streaming, Mouse? A few hours later. Okay, I'm gonna try. Yeah, he's on it. Okay, let's see. What was that? Oh shoot, what was the name of that one? So here's the thing, character islands are not going to be islands that are pulled from the Steam Workshop. These are ones that I have already spawned into the game. The custom island ones are going to list everything that I have subscribed to. So keep that in mind. If you are trying to find a particular island, this is probably where it's going to show up. So let's see. What was the name of that one? Land of Beards, World Tree. Might have to go back and check that out. Hang on, I forgot the name of it. Oh, wrong one. We're gonna look at all of them. I think it was like God Falls, yeah. God Falls Mothership. Extra large. It is unsaleable. So that's another thing too, is if you are doing an island creator or island creation, keep in mind if you create it way too big, it's not going to be able to be sailed around. No matter how many sails you put, no matter how many rudders, how many lifts, it will not be sailable because it's just too heavy and too large. So something to just kind of think about. Okay, so this one, I said I subscribed to it. Your subscriptions. So let's double check this. Yep, so it's there. Oh, no, it's the Cave Winding Waterfall. Not the God Falls. The God Falls is cool, though. I will give it that one. So, either the God Falls or the Cave Winding Waterfall will pull. Pull this out. Well, actually, in the meantime, where's another cool one? Another cool one. I think this one is one of them. Now, again, when you're spawning in islands, you'll see that you have the confirm, escape/cancel option, and then your toggle on your mouse will determine the distance your island spawns. If you spawn it too close, you can obtain damage as your character, so keep that in mind as you're spawning in these creations. So not the God one or the Windfalls, but this was another cool one that was created by another creative person for Aloft. I've seen him create just crazy builds, not in the island creator but in the game itself. He's created so many really cool things. His ships, like he creates flying ships, are like, I don't know, like they look like a real ship. Like mine looks okay, but if I was gonna actually compare it to an actual real ship, his looks like a real ship. And he's also done a rope bridge, which I thought was fantastic, and he's kind of given me some ideas, or I've reached out to him and asked him how he did a few things. He's just created some amazing things. I do not remember his name off the top of my head, but I've conversed with him a couple times, and he's super helpful and super informative when it comes to how to use the mechanics of the game to your benefit. Like he pushes the limits of this game as much as he possibly can, and it is fantastic, like what he does. So let's go check out this one. So it ranks this one as a home because technically anything that you spawn in will be classified as a home island. But you notice like this was an island that he created from the island creator. I'm trying to fly and showcase at the same time. I'm just kind of giving a overview of it. And then if you want to land, there's a little landing platform and place for you to check out. Now it'd be kind of cool to build a whole entire village underneath this tree. I think that would be super fun. There's obviously some water there that he's created. Like his designs and stuff just look really flawless and natural. And that's what I inspire my builds to be. Yeah, there we go. So he's just got some really cool, but he's left it as a very much a blank slate. So you can build whatever you want in here. And design anything that you want, really. There is a little hidden cave down here with a knowledge stone that he created. And that's the other thing too, is like if in your island you don't necessarily have to have a cave, but you can create like these little pockets. I like to call these pockets because they don't really lead anywhere. They're not an official like cave so to speak. But they're like little pockets that you can kind of build around, and it's basically the same thing that we did with the cave structures, where it's like you have the little opening and you just kind of build around it and you finagle things around, so that way it creates a platform and some cover from the elements type thing. So that's another way to create a cave, but it wouldn't be using the cave features at all. So and then as far as the what you're seeing right here, the blue parts aren't a normal thing. These are actually the windstones that he has applied going up the tree to make them look like veins. So if I come over here, you notice there's some veins up there. I forgot there were staircases right here. And if we continue to jump up here and check out more. Hey, that way. I'll fly up there, dang it. So yeah, it's like they look like veins, but they're actually the windstones, or the windstone crystals that are used to create the vein look. Which is really cool. It's a really nice idea. But this would be a really fun island to build on as well. So anyway, let's see what else. Well, there's my ship way over there. Yeah, it's a cool build, Jenny. Let's see, I'll despawn that one and we'll try one more. I'm curious to know if the other two came in yet. Tab. Put away your island, so that's gonna put this guy away. It takes a couple seconds, or about a minute or so. Let's see. Spawning your home island. Your island is being spawned. I'm curious to know if they came through yet. Oh, God Falls. Heck yes. We'll check that one out. Doesn't look like the... Hang on. What was the other one? The cave something? Is it Cave Weller? We'll try that one. I think that was it. The one that I thought was really... Yes, it was. Oh, this one's cool. Again, these are all custom-made islands. Like, people have done these themselves. Now, this is a cave that isn't utilizing the cave feature. And again, you don't have to necessarily use the cave feature, but it's nice that build or whatever kind of gives you a basic outline to work from. Sometimes doing something like this might be a little bit more difficult because of the fact that you have to make sure everything aligns and you have to have the viewpoints and things like that. So whatever works for you. If you want to work off of the actual cave room feature, you can do that. You can always create caves just like this. So, but this is another cool, really cool island. Should I drive Jersey crazy and be like, hey, we're modifying the island that we're building off of? No, he might exit the game then. But this is really cool. And that's the other thing, like, why I create so many different, look how cute that brook is! Ah! I wish I was better with water. Water and me on this game, like, I am so finicky with water that if it doesn't look just right, it drives me crazy. And that looks really cute. You got this nice oak tree. Yeah, I'm able to identify all the trees in the game now because I've used them and built with them. So it's like, oh, that's the oak tree. That's the chestnut. That's the pine tree. So, and it's like, I look at this one. That's the oak tree. But this is a cool island. I like this one. This would be a fun island to build. Maybe I should pull this in for I should showcase this to Jersey and... Well, this shows that I'm in water. Yeah, that's another disadvantage of that is like if... Whoa! I don't think that was supposed to happen. Whoops. That's a hole in the system. I think that was supposed to... What? I'll try that again. I'm curious to know if I will still fall through. Oh yeah, there's the opening. Oh, and she even has it set up that there are waterfall, I think, underneath it. Let me see. If that's the case, that'd be cool. If that was like intentional. Nope, it was not. But that's okay. Maybe I should spawn this one in to the community game that I do with Jersey, Shelly, and Fiona and be like, if we want to build on this one. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. I think this one would be super fun, especially if you do like this whole village routine here. It would be super cool. Super, super cool. Water coming into the cave. Yeah, I know. That's a really, really awesome feature that she did. and it looks like it just kind of seeps through through the cracks too. That's what I really like about it. It's just right straight through. All right, we'll do one more and then might call it a stream. So we'll despawn that one. Put your home away. And then come back through. Give it a moment. And custom islands. I want to see the God Falls. And that one we're gonna have to push away because this is supposed to be a really big island. Yeah, it's a big boy. Oh my goodness, look at this thing. Oh, baby. Look at this. This thing's cool. I want this thing to fly. Cause look at the way that they use the wind craters. Because of that, I want this thing to fly. Like, let it fly, let it fly. But unfortunately, it is too heavy. Oh, that's cool coming out the back. Maybe this might be another one that I see if they want to use to spawn in. I'll just kind of come down here, start it from the beginning. Whack! Okay, this is awesome. This is so cool. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my gosh, somebody made a hand. Look at that, with the knowledge stone in it. That's craziness. Oh, there's a little different biome there. And fell through. That's kind of fun. That one was on purpose. It's like, if you want my knowledge stone, you're gonna have to work for it. Where's the entrance? There we go. Yeah, we'll start from up here. Remind me if I take a nosedive. There we go. I'd say the only feedback that I have for this one is some of the pieces, or some of the some of the pieces are just slightly high that you almost can't make it. I don't know if that was intentional, if maybe you have to build like staircases or something like that. Oh, look at this. This is cool. Stairway to nowhere? Get me up the stairs, dang it. Not sure what those stairways were supposed to do, but this is cool. Look at this. It's like the game's like recognizing you're not supposed to be up there. Then you got the bones there, some paper. Whee! Landed on that one really good. Oh, so you're supposed to kind of go back this direction to get around. And go around the waterfall. Okay, this is cool. Right up to the knowledge stone. The teachings of these lands have ended. Perhaps new horizons will brink around. Yeah, we're not going down that again. No, thank you. How do I get up there? Maybe this way? I will achieve my goal of going up onto this level. Whee. Interesting. Oh, there's an atlas. Huh. That's cool. Yeah, Jenny, I would agree with you. I'm absolutely loving this. This is such a cool build. And it kind of makes me want to tear down what I can and build off of it and just see what I could create from this. And part of me also wants to bring in the community of those that build or that are in the community stuff with me and see like what we could do with this. I think that would be super awesome. Oh, there's a piece of paper. I'm not picking up any of the resources right now, just because of the fact that I don't want that to impact the island in case this is something that we would want to keep in here. But no, this is really cool, guys. This is really, really cool. But I am probably going to call this the end for my stream today. Like I said, I have a couple things that I want to get done this afternoon in preparation for the weekend. One of those being I have to take the dog and go give him a bath because he needs it. I'm so looking forward to that. So looking forward to that. Thanks for the stream and all the tips. Yes, you're welcome, Sherry Cola. If you create an island using the island creator, I would love to see it. So be sure to post pictures. I would love to see it. If you have questions or need some tips and tricks, feel free to reach out. If you want me to jump on like a video call with you or something like that to help you with anything, I am more than happy to do that. I know that the island creator can get a little tricky in the beginning, and a lot of what I've learned has been like trial and error in figuring out. So anything that you need help with, feel free to reach out to me for, and I would be more than happy to. And anything with the game itself, Sherry Cola, I know that you're kind of new to it. Any questions you have, I am more than happy to answer them if I know them. I'll admit I haven't gone all the way to the end with this game, but I know quite a bit about the game to be able to help answer your questions. So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave us with this amazing view of this island. I think this is absolutely an incredible build. Again, it's not mine. It was created by somebody within the Aloft community. They've uploaded it into the Steam Deck for you able to pull it into your own world to be able to use and build and have fun with. But this is a really cool build. This is a really cool build. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me on the stream today. It means so much to me that you came and hang out, that you interacted within the chat, and you know, we're just kind of there along the ride with me. So it means a lot to me. Let me know if you guys want me to continue to provide like tips and tricks with Aloft or any other games that are out there. There are a couple games that I'm going to be adding to the Steam Deck. One of them I'm kind of waiting for a little bit. I've got it, but I'm waiting on. It's more of a strategy game that you have to kind of build a civilization, but yet strategize based upon what the ecosystem is doing to your civilization. And the other one is similar to that. It's again a strategy game. So I'll probably do some videos on that once I start playing those, but we're trying to get through BB's birthday stuff first before I start introducing new games and try to figure out some things there. But anyway, guys, definitely post pictures if you create something. Yes, I want to see it. I want to see it, Sherry Coley. I'm excited for you, so I hope you're excited. I'm excited. But anyway, guys, that's all we're gonna have for today's stream. Again, thank you so much. Wherever you are in this incredible world of ours, have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep on being inspirational, and until next time, guys, bye-bye.